Okay, hi, we're here interviewing an artist that's showing at CentralTrak, R.E. Cox, who's at Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas. So tell us about your training, your background as an artist, and then what you're getting at in your process and what you're doing in your art.
Well, I studied sculpture at Austin College under Joe Havel and painting under Mark Smith and also Mark Monroe. And he was a sculpture teacher also. And what I'm interested in is the body and kind of a mutation of the body. The body as uncomfortable to look at and the uneasiness about the body. I'm totally interested in that. I just had my leg cut off as a result of infection, and it goes along perfectly with my art.
Well, so tell us about the deeper history of some of the things you are recalling, or the autobiography that is sort of implicit or very deeply present in your sculpture.
Well, my work is a reaction to autobiography, which starts with 26 years ago. I fell off of a building, a grain elevator, and I fell 110 feet, and I broke almost every bone in my body. I was 19 years old, and I was just up there exploring, and somehow I fell off. I don't really remember exactly how, but I survived a death-defying injury, and
You were in a coma, right?
I was in a coma for 6 weeks.
They probably didn't think you were going to make it.
I didn't really have much hope to make it. 17 out of 19 doctors told my parents to pull the plug.
Oh, that's awful.
And take me off of life support. That I was going to be a vegetable for the rest of my life, and that I would never walk again.
Mm-hmm. Well, but then, just so people understand, you've had this leg, which is your right leg that we see now, that's half of which is gone. You didn't feel a lot in it, because I want people to understand that in many ways this is really a positive thing, that this has been removed. This leg has been removed. Everybody who loves you thinks it's positive. Tell them why, because there was an infection.
Yeah, it was badly infected, and it had swelled a whole bunch, and the doctor saw it, and he immediately said, "You've got to go to the hospital, and you're probably going to have it removed."
Mm-hmm. Okay, but then for you, the other day I was seeing you, I think it was the day after your surgery, or you said you had so many ideas about art. You had been having so many images, or could you talk about that?
Well, the images that come up are from being in the hospital and just the apparatus of apparatus of healing, which is oftentimes very cruel. It looks very very old and
Old-fashioned?
Old-fashioned, and it looks very painful.
You're doing much better than you were the other day, though.
Well, I'm really interested in that.
Healing.
The healing process, and the steel that is involved in...
The steel?
Yes.
What do you mean?
I love the steel structures that are involved in healing.
Like clamps that put together a broken bone, or
yes,
prosthetics,
or cages that you built around a leg in order to heal it.
Did you see that while you've been here?
Yes, I forget what it's called.
You had it 26 years ago, probably.
Yes, it was around my leg, and that's what held my leg together to heal it.
So tell us about the shapes of your sculpture.
I'm just very interested in sort of organic shapes, like the shape of a gourd, perhaps.
Which looks a little bit like that.
Yeah, it looks...
And a bald man's head.
Yeah, exactly. Like mine is...
Your head is prettier than that, though.
I'm very interested in that sort of mechanical healing process.
Mechanical, like the way the machine
the machine
enables.
And and how the machine can become a real life, almost like a robot.
One more thing. Tell us about your working space, your home studio, and how that, describe it and tell us how that also is part of your making, influences your making.
Well, actually, there's some shots of my studio in the catalog for this show, and there's actually a little slice at the bottom of one of the pictures that says "I love meat," and I couldn't express it better. I love meat and the power of raw meat.
Like, so cow or human meat?
Cow or human meat.
Tell it. So your little one-bedroom apartment usually has lots of materials piled up.
It's pretty stacked and chaotic.
Right.
Very messy, and I see images in that chaos, and that's how I like to make my structures. I see images in that.
Are they abstract images? Or are they realist? Or
I would say abstract images.
Mm-hmm.
And forms like forms encased in hosiery.
Yes.
Or this really thick, tough medical hosiery, like compression hose.
Right.
Like the work in the show. A lot of it has compression hose, and I love mold making and stuffing things in those hose.
Tell us what you told me when I came in about, speaking of hose, what they're going to put on your new bald man's head at the bottom of your body.
Well, it's a certain type of hose that molds it for the prosthetic.
Mm-hmm.
It molds it to fit. It changes the shape of your leg in order to fit into a prosthetic device.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The very last thing I wanted to ask you, do you think that you maybe will become the new Blade Runner?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be killing my girlfriend, but I don't have a girlfriend.
Well, you wouldn't kill anything anyway.
Of course not.
I was just kidding.
I would make art out of it if I did.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll see you very soon at CentralTrak.
Yes.